Greetings, Earthlings. My name is Patrick. I am your shaman host of the Shaman Patrick Show. When I heard that Aubrey Marcus had released a new podcast where he interviews his wife's boyfriend, I thought it was a joke. I saw it on Kaya's World, and Merrick said, Kaya has a new podcast. Aubrey Marcus interviews his wife's boyfriend. I said, come on, she's being hyperbolic. She's a comedian. She's a talented improv actress. She's just making it up. It's true. It's true. He did a podcast where he interviews his wife's boyfriend. I'm like, what? So I watched it, and guess what?
It's getting pretty old.
This man has no friends. Nobody loves this man. Nobody loves Aubrey Marcus. Nobody is pulling him aside and saying, dude, stop. You're revealing too much. So much gets revealed. The man is spiritually brain rotted. Everybody in his orbit is spiritually brain rotted. So on today's episode, we're going to define what spiritual brain rot is and what we can do to prevent it from spreading further. This shit infected people that I know personally. They have fallen into this. My husband said, that he almost fell into this psychedelic polyamory woo-woo shit. I said I'm not going to talk shit about any other spiritual teachers. I don't think Aubrey Marcus is a spiritual teacher at this point. I was confused, you see. I was under the delusion that this man knew what he was talking about. He does not. It's spiritual brain rot. And I'm a serious shaman, and this stuff is nonsense. And I feel like it has to be called out. People get caught up in this shit, this plant medicine stuff. It's bad that when I try to talk to people about it, they say, Patrick, you don't understand. You have a limited experience with this stuff. You're just very limited in this. We need an ego, Patrick. We need to be able to do drugs. You just don't understand. We need to be able to stick our dicks in as many women and or men as possible. It's evolved, man. It's the evolution of humanity. Patrick, you just don't understand. And that would be true if I hadn't spent the past 13 years of my life trying to understand. And this is what I know. It's brain rot. It's spiritual brain rot. It is shallow. It is stupid. It is dumb. And I'm so glad Mr. Marcus is exposing it in this way, because now I know where it comes from. I got to examine it fully and see that it is whack-a-doodle. Whack-a-doodle. It's cockamamie. It's garbage. It makes no sense. It's spiritual brain rot. So we're going to watch a little bit of this podcast today to give you an idea of how bad it is and how you could be so in an echo chamber that nobody can even get through to you at all. Thank God I am sober. Thank God I have people to call me out on my bullshit. You guys watching this call me out on my bullshit. Thank you so very much. So today we're going to talk about spiritual brain rot. We're probably going to have some laughs and some fun. And I'm also going to debut a new song about our very good friend, Aubrey Marcus. So stick around till the end of this episode. Are you ready for the Shaman Patrick Show? Let's go.
He was once a storm in human form, sharp tongue, cold soul, heart worn and torn, living like a ghost who missed his grave till the spirit sang out and called him brave. He got rewired by the great unknown, heard the call like a dial tone to the bone. So pull up a chair, enjoy the glow. This is the Shaman Patrick Show.
I want to start this episode by saying I really don't care what other people do in their life. As long as it's not hurting anybody, as long as it's not promoting illegal drugs or manipulation or anything like that, as long as it's not hurting anybody, have at it, have fun. I mean, what is Aubrey Marcus doing that's hurting people, you might say? What is he doing that's hurting people? I would say that one of my loved ones got caught up in this microdosing, drug, polyamory, arrow stallion shit. And he's currently in the process of wrecking his life, his career, his support system. And that's a bridge too far. You know, I mean, I got to see what he was like before he started doing this stuff. He was fine. But now I can't even. So if this video helps just one person get out of it or not get involved in it at all, then it's worth it, because this shit is cockamamie. You cannot take drugs to receive revelations or enlightenment or anything at all. That's not it. And if you could do it maybe one or two times and get some benefit of it. Anything more than that could cause a lot of problems. It could lead to spiritual brain rot. I'm going to get involved in spiritual brain rot in a little bit, but you don't have to take my word for it. You can listen to other creators talk about it. This is a creator called Valerie, and she gives a perfect summation as to why we should call out what our good friend Mr. Marcus is doing. I think if he had some good people around, I think he could go through an amazing transformation. But it looks like he's intent on seeing this through to the end. Seeing it through to the end. What do you have to say, Valerie?
Jim Jones and Warren Jeffs all have in common with Aubrey Marcus. They all at some point got these downloads from God that they were supposed to be in these polyamorous relationships where they would take advantage of women's bodies. I watched this one video by Brenda Turner, and hers made the most sense because it was less spiritual BS, and it was just like, this guy is an... And it's very obvious. He is so smooth with his talking, but I think it was about 2 years ago. I never followed him, but I realized I would never follow him because there was this really weird class that was done by this girl, Azria Becker, and then Vailana came on and they were talking about, I remember it was like how to live in abundance, and it was something about money, and I don't know what I thought they're going to be talking about, like spirituality and money. Yeah, and it was basically like marry a rich man.
This is the thing about what Aubrey does. You think it's going to be about spirituality. You think it's going to be about like being a better person. Like, he has a vision for the world, man. He's got a vision for the world, and it includes this. Taking advantage of people, manipulating people. You're going to see in the podcast today how he is setting up things. We're going to examine it. I don't think Aubrey should make videos about this anymore. The same thing with Jeff and Shalea Divine from Twin Flames Universe. You guys should not be making videos because it doesn't help your case at all. What you're trying to get us to co-sign, it's not helping. Whatever PR firms that you're, Jeff, Shalea, if you want to give me $40,000 like you did to your crisis PR firm, I would help you guys transform into something that will not attract the attention of the feds. That's probably too late for that. Sometimes that maybe the government is involved in some of these cults. I don't know.
Now, there is nothing wrong with that. And I also want to say that as I'm coming from someone who has actually been like in a polyamorous relationship in the past. And I realize that it is all ego and narcissism for these guys.
Yes,
it
is.
Can't really love two people. So when you have someone outside of your relationship, it is purely physical. And then what these men do with this women is basically discard them, just like Warren Jeffs of the FLDS or Jim Jones or any of those other cult leaders. For some reason, whenever these spiritual fake gurus start to get more power, it always turns to this. And it's just really interesting because I guess back then people really didn't know what was going on the inside. But now people like Aubrey Marcus just completely put it out there on the internet. If you have not listened to the podcast that's on his channel, please go ahead and listen. Your jaw will be dropped the entire time because you just see his wife abandoning herself and you see this girl, like they're such beautiful, powerful women. And you're like, why are they there? But when you listen to the way he talks, I'm like, I got caught up with a man like that. Anyone could.
I got caught up with a man like that. For those of us who got it caught up with narcissists and spiritual narcissists, we can see that shit coming like a freight train. We're like, get off the track, bitches. Get off the track. Trains are coming. And they're like, oh, I'm just in my divine feminine, yo. I'm just feeling my chakras. Just feeling it. And you're like, the train is coming, bitch. Get off the track. And they're like, you don't understand. Valerie, you don't understand. You're just not as evolved as me. I bet Valerie gets told she don't understand, even though she's been in a polyamorous relationship. I've been in a polyamorous relationship, but we just have a very limited experience with this stuff, just so very limited.
So it's just really interesting. But like I said, they all have that in common. And I find it odd. Is it odd or is it God? It's definitely not God.
It's definitely not God. Definitely not God. Thank you, Valerie, for that. Look at all this stuff that I watch. Look at all this. Look at all this stuff I watch. The dark cloud of childhood trauma. This is just a peek into my algorithm. What is this? I don't know if I've watched that yet. So let me go on to what I'm going to talk about here with this spiritual brain rot. Spiritual brain rot. What is it? What is it? What is spiritual brain rot? Oh gosh, honey, I need some reading glasses for this. I can't read this at all. Oh, there, they just appeared on my face. Thank you, spirits. All right, spiritual brain rot. It is a degenerative condition of the psyche caused by overexposure to shallow, regurgitated New Age content, often contracted through endless scrolling of TikTok tarot readers, Instagram gurus with ring lights, and YouTube mystics who say quantum every 5 seconds, but can't spell it. I'm not calling anybody out here because I myself have had my go at all of this stuff. Like I've said in many videos, like I thought that was the way that I had to be. I thought that was the language of spirituality, because whenever I tried to talk about the real shit, there would be people come along. Patrick, you don't understand. You just don't get it, Patrick. You don't understand. And it's like, I'm trying to make sense of this gobbledygook. I'm actively trying to make sense of this gobbledygook, and I can't. But Patrick, you just don't get it. You're just not as evolved as us. Turns out I didn't have the ego for it. You gotta be really high and have a really deep connection to the ego to be able to understand this gobbledygook. You really, really do. So even though I tried to understand it, sought to understand it, now it just sounds like complete and utter nonsense to me. So some symptoms include chronic use of vaguely spiritual word salad, like align to your highest frequency timeline for maximum ascension, polarity, divinity. Another symptom is delusions of spiritual superiority. I'm more awake than you because I daily microdose a cocktail of ketamine, psilocybin, and a hand-crushed adderall. Do you think I made that up? I didn't. Somebody told me. That's what they do. That's what they do. They just mix up a little microdose concoction and then they go to work. If I told you what this person did for a living, you would say, holy fucking shit. Holy fucking shit. It's that bad. This kind of thinking gets people mixing up combinations of chemicals to microdose because somebody made it okay for them. That's how I got hooked on cocaine. I was at a gay bar and I thought this guy was really cute. He was 47, I was 22, and he did cocaine. And I said, oh, not me. I'm not doing cocaine. I'm never going to do cocaine. I've heard that's really addictive. I'm going to stick with beer. I was a clean teen here. I was an alcoholic, but I certainly wasn't going to do hard drugs like cocaine. I mean, I quit smoking weed when I was 19, but he said, oh, it's not addictive. I have a full-time job. I work. It doesn't ruin your life. And he let me try some. Boom, instant hook. I was instantly hooked. This guy got me hooked on cocaine. I was instantly hooked. And let me tell you, that was the guy who got me into a three-way relationship. And it was awful. It was awful. We were together 2 years. I moved in with him, but he traded another guy for me. Like when you got to be 24, 25, he would trade you in for a new model. And that's what he did with me. And are you sensing when people say, Patrick, you don't understand? Let me fucking tell you how much I understand this shit. Because we would go out to this bar, and while we were out at this bar, one time we met this guy. I think his name was Matt. And we met this guy named Matt. And we took it, and then my boyfriend Tom, I think Tom is dead now. I can say his name, Tom. But he said, let's take this really cute guy home and have a three-way. And I said, okay, yeah. I mean, I was young and impressionable. I was 24. And so we brought him home and had a three-way, and then he left in the morning. And then he and I sort of became friends. Like he would come over and play video games with me. And then we would have a three-way and all of that stuff. And then after a few weeks of this, I thought we were in a throuple. And, you know, there was one night, Tom came home and he sat us down at the table. He goes, we need to have a talk. And he said, I'm glad that you guys are friends, but I need to reveal something. He told me, he goes, I met Matt months ago. Months ago. And we staged a meeting at the bar, and you're no longer my boyfriend, and he's my boyfriend, and you need to move out. And I was so fucking devastated and heartbroken. And he set it up so that he said, well, I thought it would be easier if you guys were friends. If you guys were friends, you would understand. I'm like, where am I going to live, dude? Like it broke my heart. And also and I was so inconsolable that I had to go to the emergency room. My friend took me to the emergency room. That's how I got introduced to Xanax. I was so inconsolable. They gave me Xanax. I ended up losing my job. I became a hardcore drug addict over this shit. And it completely broke my heart. Years later, I ran into Matt at a bar, and he said, yeah, I got hooked on. He traded me in for a new model, and now I'm addicted to cocaine. Everybody that dated or was with Tom ended up with cocaine. So that was in like 1996. Let me tell you what happened 10 years later. I was at a bar and I ran into Tom. At that point, he was almost 60. Maybe he was older. He wasn't as handsome as he was at 47. And so he didn't recognize me. This is the fucked up shit. He was there with his boyfriend, his new boyfriend, who was 22, 23, and he didn't recognize me. And he said, you want to come home with me and my boyfriend? And I'm like, Tom, are you still pulling this shit? And I was like, man, I must look pretty good for my age. How old was I then? Probably 30 something. Definitely past his prime, but I stayed pretty young looking for a while. But I was like, man. So when people tell me you don't understand, Patrick, you don't understand, bitch, I understand probably more than anybody who's not gone through this sort of narcissistic mind fuckery. So with that said, another symptom is belief in nonsense concepts with no grounding in spirituality, history, science, or reality. Twin flame, mirror soul, karma loops. But Patrick, that stuff is real. If you believe that stuff is real, go for it. But I'm telling you, those paradigms are fading. Those paradigms fade when you step out of spiritual ego, when you step out of spiritual narcissism. Yeah, those things might be true, but at the same time, they're not. They're not based in science, reality, or even spirituality, raw spirituality, base reality spirituality, new levels, new consciousness. Why even entertain that stuff at all when you could just go straight to shadow work? You could go straight to working on your ego issues. You could go straight to getting EMDR or active resolution therapy. You could do something about it. This stuff doesn't really have anything to do with your physical reality in this reality at all. You can get too in your head. You can get too spiritual and not physical. This kind of stuff encourages people to get too physical. Obsession with sex, sexuality, kink, and polyamory framed as sacred healing work instead of just horny confusion. And here's the thing. My boyfriend, Tom, plied me with drugs. If he had been spiritual, he probably would have added a spiritual element to it as well. He manipulated me. He wanted a 22-year-old twink boyfriend, and that's what he got. I mattered little. I didn't even matter. Just look at my hot new young thing. Goodbye. Because at 24, 25 years old, to Tom, you were elderly. He didn't want you. You were too old. He liked him 22, 23, looking really, really young, of which I did, and traded in for a new model. You're going to see in this podcast that Aubrey did. It's so fucking obvious. Freight train's coming, y'all. Freight train. Woo, woo. Woo, woo. Freight train's coming. It's coming down the track. Get off the track, girl. You don't understand, Patrick. You just don't understand. And then there's a frequent misuse of terms like downloads, codes, divine feminine, and 5D ascension. These things might be true, okay? But they don't matter at all. They might be true. I mean, bitch, I'm a starseed. It don't fucking matter anymore. I'm a Namo from the Sirius star system. It gets you nothing in this reality. Nothing. No special treatment. Doesn't do anything except make me feel crazy, alone. Now, when you say, Patrick, how do you know you're from the Anamo from the Sirius star system? Bitch, this episode is already going to be long enough. How do I know I'm not from this planet? Well, shit. That's not for me to tell you. That's my story. That's my personal story, my personal mythology. I might talk about it at some point, but what does it have to do with right now? I'm not gonna do a podcast or an interview or bring on experts to prove that I'm a Namo from the Sirius star system. The only thing I will tell you is that I went into a timeline where it was a different timeline. Oprah became aware that I was a reincarnated Namo, like the Dogon tribe had predicted, and she had me on her show, and I was interviewed by her, and she got a lot of heat because I was white. That it was very offensive to everybody that a white man had been reincarnated as the Dogon tribe in Africa had predicted. It was a big, huge scandal. She lost her show because of it. Like, it was just a big deal. But that was that timeline, and this is this timeline. It has nothing to do with what's going on right now, you see. So I don't often talk about the fact that I'm a Namo very much because it's crazy to people. It's crazy. I'm already crazy enough without having to tell people my cosmic business. My cosmic business. So the obsession with sex and kink and polyamory, along with frequent misuse of terms like downloads, codes, divine feminine, and ascension, unregulated consumption of illegal psychedelics or plant medicines leading to ego explosions disguised as enlightenment. And let's be clear, there is no medicinal use for mushrooms. I don't care what companies right now are pushing for legalization of their particular drug of choice. That's all it is. Do you not think that a drug addict is going to try to get their drug legalized? It's medicinal. It's not It is not. There is no spiritual use for it. It's just for recreation. If you want to party and have fun, go right ahead. Take whatever drugs you want. Drink as much cough syrup infused with ketamine and caffeine and crushed up adderalls that you want and have fun. But to think that it has any spiritual validity whatsoever is cockamamie. It is cockamamie. I know drug addicts can be very, very convincing. Trust me, I am a former drug addict. If I could have somehow found a way to take mushrooms legally, I would have. But the drugs are not necessary. They're not even necessary. They don't help you at all. All the revelations you get on those drugs are ego revelations. It just gives you information for the ego to stick around. That's all it is. Patrick, you don't understand. Patrick, please. We need an ego. Patrick, you don't understand. No, obviously I'm missing something here. Obviously, what am I missing? They never tell me what I'm missing. They never tell me. They never explain to me what I'm missing. They don't. They just tell me I don't understand and that it's not worth talking to me. I've obviously made up my mind. I haven't made my mind up, bitch. Convince me. Convince me that it's cool to do ketamine and crushed up adderalls and take psychedelics for spiritual purposes. I personally have not seen it. I've never heard a spiritual master say anything about it. Most spiritual masters will tell you to stay sober, get sober. In sobriety, you get the real reality. So if I could be convinced that drugs are somehow valuable and necessary for a spiritual experience, I will admit that I'm wrong. Show me. I want to see receipts. I want the evidence. So far, all I've seen is a bunch of crazy motherfuckers talking out their ass and thinking that they know it all. That's what I've seen. Causes: lack of critical thinking skills combined with a desperate need to feel special, overuse of psychedelics as a substitute for doing real shadow work or going to therapy. You know, when I say go to therapy, I mean just go get your EMDR and get out. Go get your active resolution therapy. Deal with that trauma. Get some perspective from a third party, but don't stay in therapy longer than a few months. It's not helpful. It's not helpful past a few months. I'll get into that in a later video, but you really don't want to get involved in that because trauma is not real. Might get some shit for that. People love their stories. They love their stories. So another cause is social media echo chambers rewarding shallow takes and hot people doing breath work and ballet. Now I'll admit, Aubrey used to be hot. Now he looks, what do we say in semen retention circles? He looks like an ejaculator. He looks like a masturbator. He looks like somebody who spills his seed at any given chance. He looks like he is not in control of himself. And masturbators and ejaculators, they sort of get this appearance about him, this sort of hollowed out appearance. And that's what he looks like to me. He used to be, I would say he used to be kind of sexy and hot. Hasn't been that way. Ilana is kind of hot. Ilana is, but you don't have to be hot to be a spiritual influencer, but it helps. Am I right? Aaron Abke, am I right? So here's a warning. If left untreated, spiritual brain rot can evolve into full-blown spiritual influencer syndrome, a highly contagious condition where sufferers begin charging $9.99 for a chakra cleanse they invented while high in the desert. Yes, man. Listen, I used to do meth. I used to write articles about spirituality on meth. When I got sober, I took all that shit down. I was like, this is crazy. The shit that you come up with when you're high. And when you're so high, you're convinced that it's a spiritual truth until you sober up and you look at it and you're like, this shit's crazy. There's a reason why people came after me on the internet 10 years ago, because I was a drug addict. I was a danger to myself and other people. Thank God those people called me out. They didn't have to send me death threats and shit like that, but they didn't have to make videos about me, about how how crazy I was. Look, I was homeless. I was mentally unwell. If I had people in my life that loved me, they would have pulled me aside and said, Patrick, please do not make any more videos. Get better. Get better. You're going to come back bigger and stronger, and it's going to be okay. Make videos when you're healed. Somebody should have loved me enough to tell me that. Nope, I didn't have many people in my life that loved me all that much like our good friend Aubrey Marcus. So in the next part of this episode, we are going to brave the depths of the spiritual brain rot master himself, Aubrey Marcus. So let's go. Spiritual brain rot is highly contagious. This kind of shit infects people. It infects people. It gets them thinking of things in this cockamamie way. And I'm not sure how much of this video I'm going to get through, because I can't render a video longer than an hour and a half because my computer is not that great. That's why I do videos in black and white. That's why they're rendered at 720p, because my computer is not that great. I don't have the funding that Mr. Aubrey Marcus has. I'm not jealous of that funding, but that's where we're at here. You know, people who promote this spiritual brain rot, they tend to get a lot of money. They tend to get a lot of followers. They tend to get a lot of stuff. It's that contagious and infectious. But I do have a cult-free guarantee. We are not starting a cult here. So if you do want to support our work, you can do so with confidence that we are never starting a cult, because they take too much work, and we don't want to control people. We don't want to have sex with other people. We would be terrible cult leaders. If we did start a cult, it would just be the Patrick and Merrick Fun Time Brigade. So if you do like our content, please like and subscribe, comment, or use an emoji if you've got nothing to say. Share this content with others. Join this channel, support the work we do, and get access to members-only videos and features. And to end this commercial, go check out our new book, The Machinations of Ego, at concreteshamans.com. If somebody wants to send Aubrey a copy of that book, I think it would really help him. It would really help anybody. It would help clear up this spiritual brain rot. It did in us. It did in us. So let's get to this video. I don't know if I'll be able to make it through the whole thing because, as I said, my computer is not that great and I can't render a video all that long. At least I don't know. Maybe I'll try and see. But I don't know if we can take a whole watch through of this video together. But why delay?
I first knew Joshua Draper as one of the homies I used to play ball with, but then he caught my wife's eye. Ultimately, in our expanded relationship constellation, there was an opening for Aubrey Marcus and Joshua Draper to explore what that possibility might look like.
People can have so many.
I'm like, this is crazy. Like you're playing basketball and you're like looking at your friend and like, I think you would be a good boyfriend for my wife in our constellation. You mean in our sex cult drama thing we got going on? Why does this have to be on a podcast? Why can't this just be your personal life? Like, why can't it just be that, Aubrey? Nobody cares what you do. No, why does this have to be sold so fucking hard? Like, what? Why does it have to be sold? Nobody cares what you do in your bedroom, but promoting this as if it's spiritual, y'all are just swingers. Y'all just be a swinger. For God's sakes, that's fine. But this shit, like my loved one right now, the last I heard that the person that is the loved one who got caught up in this shit, he's trying to convince coworkers to have three-ways with him. Come the fuck on.
Many perspectives around what this is, but like the gleaming truth and beauty of what's in my heart is like, this is the happiest that I've ever been, the most grateful that I've ever been. It has required and brought out the absolute best of me.
My overwhelming love, not just for Vi, but for Vi to experience the fullness of what's possible for her life, is like a stronger part of my character and will than
if it looks good, it is good. Who wouldn't want that shit? Who wouldn't want that shit for their queen? My queen, I am the king. People still talk about this shit. They do. They do. It looks so good, doesn't it? Oh, wow, it looks good. So it must be good, right?
That natural primal response, which is like, so I immediately went into wingman mode.
First of all, I felt the directness of it.
This is crazy. You're a wingman for your friend, for your wife. And
If there's something there, if this is a true thing, I bless the truth.
And for me, it's like, how am I in this experience where the person that I love more than anything is so graciously and
pawning off one of his friends onto me.
generously and beautifully
Look at this. I mean, I know that's Burning Man. I know that, but come on.
impeccably granting me the freedom. Thank you so much.
Love you.
I know. And
He's I'm going to call this the Tom situation. What my boyfriend Tom did, he introduced me to somebody and oh my God, he introduced his friend to his wife because Aubrey is going to go off with his new girl, Alana, or what's her name? Elena. They got some Vilana. No, Alana. This is Vilana right here. This is Vilana. Man, it's hard to keep up with all these women and men in this little constellation of Cracker Jacks. So, but he is introducing, she don't even know this. She doesn't even know that he introduced the dreadlocked, his friend, to her so that he can go off on his own. Whoa, wow, man. How can she not see this?
I know it's because you love me so much.
Carrying this piano out so that me and your wife can have a beautiful evening together. And it was a long walk. It was a heavy piano.
Yeah.
And it was comical, but actually really underneath that was this recognition, I think, between you and I, Team Bailana.
Yeah.
Oh God. That this is dirty. So we're Team Valana. They're like Aubrey Marcus is like, man, I don't want to be married to my wife anymore. How do I get her out of my life? Would you help me out? Would you help a bro out here? And we'll call it Team Valana.
For me, I actually feel like, wow, like I've never known myself more deeply. I have never felt more powerful, more me, more clear about exactly who the fuck I am and how that is completely irreducible and irreplaceable. Like, thank you. Thank you. And to have the mirrors, of two different unique perspectives of the way that you see me, the way that you love me,
This is like love bomb crack. This is crack, making her feel so very special. And I, y'all may not like to hear this, okay? But I'm involved in men's groups as well. And you know what they talk about in men's groups? How easy it is to manipulate a woman. And to be a really good man, you don't manipulate women. You also know how easy it is to manipulate a woman. Ladies, y'all may not want to hear that. Y'all may not want to hear how easy it is to manipulate a woman. If I was a woman today, I would be on those men's groups because they're talking about honest shit. Like, as a shaman, I probably watch more about heterosexual relationships and heterosexual things. Well, because most people in the world are heterosexual. Being a gay person is really rare. It's only like 2 to 4% of men are gay. In America, at least. In Germany, it's way higher. But it's being gay. Like, why would I research gay relationships if I'm not going to be even helping that many gay people? Gay people are supposed to be monks and the spiritual people in a tribe anyway. So we're supposed to research this stuff, but they are manipulating her. They are making her feel special. They are making her feel unique. They are saying things to her like, you really know yourself now, don't you? Well, I'm glad you finally know yourself. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God.
I inspire in you.
And I couldn't be a bigger supporter of you guys' love, your connection, the truth and integrity you guys have held with me from the very, very beginning. The courage.
This looks like a PS4 game that you can play.
You guys showed from the very, very beginning. And I couldn't be happier for you guys' journey towards parenthood. Because the world needs people like you to pass on the lineage.
This is a generational thing. This has undertones of Jim Jones, Manson, passed down the lineage of this new way of living, which is basically just being a swinger and doing drugs. I mean, I know some homeless people in my community, in my town right now, who are doing the exact same thing. But they live in cardboard boxes and tents, and they're calling it what it is, passing down that lineage.
And the work you guys are doing, like we need a baby Marcus.
I bet you money that baby is gonna end up being a new, like a Christ figure. It's gonna be something like that. A baby Marcus. We need a baby Marcus. And I don't think Valana is gonna be able to give him that baby Marcus. That's why he has the new girl. The new one.
You and I, Josh, we're gonna be producers.
Right.
And we're gonna be helping Vi with the hook.
Open up the door because I want more.
Oh! Print it!
Yeah.
Honey, I can do something better with AI. Stay tuned to the end of the episode to see the song I come up with AI. There we go.
I first knew Joshua Draper as a basketball player. He was one of the homies I used to play ball with. But then he caught my wife's eye. And ultimately, in our expanded relationship constellation,
What like this right here is, I mean, this is like Mormonism, the expanded relationship constellation. I mean, my father was an alcoholic, and he became a dry drunk, and he had sex with women outside of the marriage, maybe some men too. There's so many things I don't know about my dad, but if this was permissible, he would have had an expanded relationship constellation. Any drug addict, alcoholic, horny motherfucker would love to have this expanded relationship constellation.
there was an opening for Valana Marcus and Joshua Draper to explore what that possibility might look like.
Look at this. There was an opening. Hey, Josh, there's an opening for you. Come satisfy my wife so I can go off with my new girl.
And what emerged was an incredible amount of beauty and gifts, not only on the musical side of things, which Josh is incredibly musically talented, but also the gift of improv, an art form that's both ancient and modern. And
Whoa. I'm a trained improv person, so I'm curious about this as well. It's an ancient and modern art form. Oh gosh, and Patrick, you just don't understand. I'm like, bitch, I went to Second City in Chicago. I wonder if Josh did too. I definitely want to know that. I want to know about this ancient yet modern art form, which is just making shit funny.
And allows you to tap into those internal instinctual forces of what's alive right now in the present moment.
It's called yes and. That's it. All that shit. Like improv is simple. When you just try to make things funny. You're always looking for the joke in something. You don't have to come up with all that shit. You don't have to come up with it. It's yes and, yes and, yes and. And Aubrey, you are a perfect improv partner. Let me tell you, because you set up so much shit to make a joke out of. You may be an improv genius. You are a perfect improv partner. You and I would have wonderful scenes together, I'm sure. And you wouldn't even be trying.
So this podcast explores not only the nuances of an expanded relationship container, but also the beauty of improv as an art form for both laughter and celebration, and also catharsis, and also exploration of who you are as a human being. So I hope you guys enjoy this podcast with Aubrey Marcus and Joshua Draper. Vailana, hi, my love.
Hello, my love.
Joshua, my brother.
Howdy, partner.
It's good to see you, bro.
Great to be here with y'all.
So when I first met you, we were just playing ball.
That's true.
And I just thought you had dreads. And I thought it was like a style choice.
That's not true. They met on that's not true. That sounds like a story. You know, I've been with men who have had these stories. That doesn't sound true to me. That sounds like a story to tell Vailana. Did you put out a Craigslist ad? Did you get on that hookup app?
Choice, but then I didn't realize that it was like actually a lifestyle choice.
Totally.
It actually like fits in, and I'd love as the conversation evolved.
You can tell I'm getting a little stressed out about this because when I start sucking on my vape, you can tell. It stresses me out a little bit because I've been with men like this. I know those stories. My dad was like this, very beta. One bad decision after another. Nothing mattered except his own, satisfying his own needs. His family didn't matter. My mother didn't matter. It was poor baby Marcus.
That we talk a little bit about that because you've shared a lot of wisdom about that lifestyle, about how even the way you dance is about like lifting up. And there's like these like kind of cultural ideas about how to like lift your energy up. There's been so many things that you've taught me, bro. And it's been really like one of the most beautiful things about being so close with you in this dynamic is that you've taught me a lot, you know, and we've got to share a lot together. And that's just one of those many things. But when we were balling, it's just like, all right, this dude has dreads. I'm gonna see if I can cross him over. You know, he's got a good mid-range. You know, got to keep him out of the mid-range. He's like 100%. Fucking Rip Hamilton out there.
100%.
You know, force him to shoot threes.
100%.
Force him to shoot threes and go to the bucket. And then, you know,
I'm gonna say this. I was in a mental institution for a year in Chicago. And while I was in that mental institution, there were many ignorant conversations that happened between the patients and myself. I would witness many ignorant conversations. This sounds like one of those conversations that I heard in the mental institution. I'm not even joking. I am not even joking about this. The way you lift your hands up, and I've seen this podcast before, but I'm watching it as if I'm seeing it for the first time. That's my trick. So, but that's what this reminds me of. A conversation between mental patients. But Patrick, you don't understand.
Obviously, Vailana and I were in this post-conventional relationship, this expanded idea of what our love could be. And she says to me, she's like,
I feel like I really should be the one to share
Yeah.
this story.
Yeah, you share it. Go for it, babe.
Yeah. Well, as long as we've been together and in a more, we've always been just open to experiences, and we've
Obviously.
explored a lot, and I am very clearly bisexual. So for lots of people who want to pretend that like I'm not in my own erotic imprint of expression.
What does that even mean? You're horny. You're a horny girl. I've had to sit with people as they talk like this. It does give you brain rot. It does give you brain rot. Speak English, bitch. Speak English. Come on.
That is the case. But also it was always available for me if I were to feel anything with anybody. And I never did. I never had that proclivity. I never really, had a resonance with anyone that I felt anything. And so that just wasn't really true for me. And I was just okay with that. And when, our relationship progressed into Alana being our beloved and being in our life in a more deeply, more intimate way, I really went through like the exploration with myself. Like
I'm going to translate for you. Okay. Look, guys, I'm a horny woman, but I'm not just horny for anybody. Somebody comes along and I'm like, yeah, I want it. I'm feeling that. And so when this person comes along, I felt something down below, you know what I mean? And I was like, man, I got to get on that. There you go.
I did a meditation at one point where I just felt into my own body. I was like, okay, what would it feel like in my body to have intimacy with this particular friend that I have that is insanely attractive and that I love and that I trust? And I went into that timeline and it was like, that could be cool, but it also doesn't totally feel true. Okay, well, what if it's like a random person where it's just like this novelty and excitement and all these things? And I'd go into that and I'd be like, it'd be cool for a little while, but it also just didn't really feel true in my body. And
oh, God. Do you... I at least want to watch 7 minutes. I'm 7 minutes in. Like, my husband couldn't take it. He's like, please, Patrick, I can't take this. Please, please, please. Because it means nothing. I mean, it is like it means nothing, but it makes me want to cry. Maybe I should just do a meditation to get to feeling into my body, whatever that means.
And so, I kind of arrived to a point of feeling like I don't really know that that's part of my personal architecture. But I really felt like, maybe something that would be more aligned for me would be like a tantric teacher where I could go really deep into like the, energy arts and the spirituality and the depth, that sexuality can really bring you. And so like, that was really kind of what I was holding for myself, not even as a prayer, but just as a loose, like maybe sometime that will happen for me. And so I say all of that because I was not looking for anything. I wasn't holding this prayer of like, this is the kind of guy that I want to meet and this is the way I want to feel. Like that wasn't even.
Who has problems like these? Who has these types of problems? This is the problem that I have right now. I was at this gym this morning and somebody told me, Patrick, you need a haircut. And I said, well, I just got a haircut. And he looked at me and he goes, well, I hope you didn't pay for it. And I said, well, I paid $80 for it. And he just looked at me and walked away. Like, this guy's kind of But anyway, so I looked at my husband and I said, man, it costs a lot of money to look like you need a haircut. I actually like this haircut. I like it. And And if you think that $80 is too much to spend for a haircut, I want to tell you, I used to get my haircut cut every month, and it was a bad haircut every month, and it cost $30 every month to get a bad haircut. Well, I found a really good stylist, and she gives such good haircuts that you only have to get your haircut like once every 3 months. She gives really good haircuts, and that she cuts them so that they can grow out and still look good. She's very talented. So I'm actually saving money in the long run by spending more for a quality haircut. See, I was able to explain that in simple terms. That is my issue and my problem. And it's not even really a problem at all. Just like Valana's problem is not a problem. She's just looking for somebody else. Aubrey might want her to find somebody else. We're just expanding the constellation. No, honey, you're just looking for somebody on the side. Let me just sum that up for you to make it simple. We don't have to do a podcast episode about it. We don't have to talk about it. It's just, so what? We used to call it some strange. You want some strange. You want a strange penis. You want a strange partner. You just want some strange. That's how us country people used to say or explain relationships such as this. Oh, he just wanted some strange. You just want some strange, honey. That's all that's going on with you.
Mildly what my experience was. And at the time that you appeared, and I'll get into that, you know, we had gotten to an incredible place between you and Alana and I was totally fine and totally happy, and everything felt like really stabilized and really harmonious. And so fast forward, I don't know, to last year in like February or something like that.
Yeah.
I got invited to sing at this event at this really dingy bar on 36th Street during South by Southwest.
Oh God, I just tuned out. It is so non-interesting. I just tuned out. I don't even know what she was talking about. But I do want to hear from Aubrey. I want to hear from Valana, and I want to hear from John. But man, is that what it's like to be married to a woman like this? It just tunes out. You just tune her out. Straight guys, let me know.
And I walked into the green room and opened the door, and there is Josh standing over this sound bed giving somebody this beautiful experience, and he's
jacking her off. That's what he was doing.
He's just there. And I had this really interesting, like, whoa, like I felt something, you know, like he's a beautiful man, but I was also just that.
I have to say he's not insanely hot, and those dreadlocks look stupid on him. They do. I'm just saying, if you felt something because of that, good for you, honey. But I mean, I love men. I love masculine, hot men. He looks like a masturbator to me. He looks like an ejaculator.
It's so rare. Actually, never really happens for me to just feel something in my body that feels kind of like a little sparkle or a little tingle. And so he
Have you used a jackrabbit, honey? Have you used a jackrabbit? This seems like the jackrabbit would satisfy your whims or your appetites. Do you know what a jackrabbit is? Let me inform you what a jackrabbit is. Let me do you a favor. I will inform you what a jackrabbit is. The only reason I know about jackrabbits is I used to have a female friend who was a very horny person. She was a very horny person. And she had a jackrabbit. She would wear them out. But Valana, let me show you what a jackrabbit is. We're over here on Adam and Eve. It's a National Orgasm Week sale, up to 50% off. Look, they have all these jackrabbits. And, you know, whenever you have that funny feeling inside, you could just go get your jackrabbit. You don't have to get a third. You don't have to bring somebody into your ever expanding constellation of relationships and drug users. So that's my service to you there. I saved you $8,888. You're welcome.
We get into a conversation and, you know, he says, I play basketball with Aubrey. I know who you are, da-da-da. It was just a very casual conversation and
Very
I didn't really
casual.
think much of it. But I went and I was with a girlfriend of mine and we went and sat down and I was like, that guy's a babe. You should totally like, I'm like trying to like pass him off to my friend because I was like, he's a total babe. Like, go
I didn't feel so much.
for it. She was single. And so that was that. And again, I like didn't really think a lot of it. You know, I wasn't like going over it in my mind or anything like that. But I was surprised that I had some kind of response in my body because I had never felt that before.
This, and ladies, you may not like this. You may not like it, but this is what they talk about in men's groups, is that women are not in control of their emotions or their bodies, and they need men to help them control their emotions and their bodies. Ladies, you may, like, the women who watch this, you guys are in total control of yourselves. You guys are witches, a woman in total control of herself. I know this, but for ladies like Valana, they need a masculine container to prevent them from making a decision or fucking up their life or running out into traffic or eating certain mushrooms. That, like, so for women like this, they need a masculine container. It's kind of controversial to say that in this day and age, but some women are in not control of their emotions. They're not in control. They can't make a good decision for themselves. They're easily brainwashed. They're easily manipulated. So by weak men, a weak man would manipulate a woman. For Volana, she needs a masculine container. She's got looks like she's going to have two weak men, masturbators, ejaculators in her life. She's going to end up running into traffic at some point. It's obvious to see.
A couple days later, I go to this event here in Austin that our brother Porangi was playing at, and it was with Opus and the sound beds. And again, I'm like this is 2 days later. I've never met this person once. I've never seen him. I've lived in Austin since like 2018, and I've never.
Right, because he was brought there by your husband as a setup. Honey, you need a gay best friend. You like there's so many things you need. I personally could not stand to be your gay best friend, but I'm sure there is a gay man out there that will sit you down and say, honey, this was a setup.
Never seen you in any circle, it's just like, oh my God, there's this like.
Which is wild, because granted, we had been playing hoop together for
We've been hooping
a year and a
minute.
half.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay, just tell her we've been hooping together for a year and a half. Aubrey, I know it's spooky how psychic I am, isn't it? It's very spooky.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't go like, I would love to just go watch while you guys are hooping, but it also feels weird to just be this like woman by myself, like watching men.
It raises the level of competition.
Yeah, I mean, I could have gone down a different path, but I
Which is so weird we never met, because I've been shooting hoops. I've never mentioned this guy named Josh with these dreads and this stunning command of improv comedy and music and dancing. I've never mentioned him. And here he just is. Wow, what a coincidence. Just like how Tom and I met this guy at this bar. Just wow, what a coincidence.
I've always chosen to just allow you to have your fun and to not make things awkward for anybody in case it could.
Aubrey gets really good if Vi comes out to watch. He does not miss a shot. It's a true story.
So that would have been helpful for you.
Yeah. Come on,
Okay,
babe.
sorry.
Not
All
for,
right.
not for the
Noted.
rest of us.
Noted.
So she comes out to watch, but she's never seen him before. My God.
Noted for next time. But yeah, back to my story. So go to this event, and who's there again? It was like 2 times in 1 week that I see him. And we had this very, light exchange of just kind of like, oh, wow, hi, nice to see you. Da, da, da. And again, I'm kind of like, there's a little bit of a sparkle in encountering this person. And we didn't even share more than like a few sentences. It was just very casual and
Okay, Josh, don't oversell it. Just be there. Just pretend that you're there. And so just don't oversell it. Don't act surprised. Just, just pretend that you're always here.
Nothing, not really a big deal. So anyways, I go home, and because I'm having this curiosity in the context of our relationship where we just always tell the truth about everything, I started.
I doubt that. When I was a drug addict, I thought I was honest. I would tell people how honest I was. It's very hard for a drug addict to be honest about anything. And it's a very hard habit to break. Even when you're sober, you have to actually try to be honest. So if you guys told each other everything, it would not have gotten to this point.
Sharing that with Aubrey, and I was like, I think maybe I might want to have an experience for myself. And I'm not like totally sure about it, but I ran into this guy that I've never met before, like twice in 1 week. And, and I just felt curious. Like I felt something. I didn't even have a full conversation. So I have no idea if there's even any resonance or alignment or depth or whatever.
Oh God, just say it. Just say, I saw a guy I want to fuck, Aubrey. I want to fuck this guy. I really want to fuck this guy. Why is that so hard to say? You guys say that you're honest with each other, saying that this is all, I want to have an experience to restore my feminine divinity in the root chakra area and get my crown blown out. And my back thrown out. That, like, why can't you just say that?
Ever. But I felt something, and I was like, and he plays basketball with you. And you said to me, who is it? And I said, Josh Draper. And you said, he's a great guy. I was like, really? You said, yeah, he's a great guy. I was like, cool.
She got led into that. By the way, these people sound like high schoolers. They sound like children. Really? Cool. Why is it with spiritual ego and this kind of stuff? Almost every person that I've encountered personally, when the spiritual ego takes them over, they sound like little kids. Like, cool. Really? Cool? Yeah. Patrick, you don't understand. You don't understand.
He was like, so what are you going to do? Are you going to like reach out to him? Are you going to try to hang out? Like, it was like you were immediately my wingman to the point where I was uncomfortable.
You were so awkward.
I was so awkward and so uncomfortable because I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, let's think about this.
Famous last words, because she's getting set up for this. She's getting the hard sell. And see, if you really want to pawn your wife onto another man, you have to make it look like it's her idea. Like with Tom, what Tom did to me, he had to make it look like it was my idea to bring this guy home to have a three-way with. Come on, freight train's coming. Woo woo, get off the tracks, honey. Woo woo.
I'm gonna get his number and text him and be like, hey, I know you play basketball with Aubrey, who is my husband, and I just was curious if maybe you want to go out and grab lunch and get to know each other. Like, what the fuck am I even supposed to say? That's like so awkward.
It is very awkward, honey. And it's something that no one should ever say in a marriage. Can you imagine? I bet what Merrick and I, we watch Spartacus, and whenever, they're having sex scenes in the house of Batiatus, three ways with slaves watching and all that kind of stuff, we joke and say, I bet this is going on at the Marcus household right now. I bet this is what's going on over at Casa de Marcus.
And uncomfortable and just completely out of my comfort zone. And you just laughed at me because you could feel how uncomfortable I was.
I'll take over a little bit from this point, because when that first moment comes and Vi says like she's into somebody, there's a little bit of like, like, like the butterflies come.
Yeah. Like, oh, it worked. It's working. It's working.
But I've like worked through that response enough. And
Yeah,
like,
how many times has that feeling approached you in your life?
oh, like many,
yeah.
Because of my history, like many times that's come. So I've gotten used to that. And
this is an endless series of women in this expanding constellation of hurt feelings and exes and bad ideas and Patrick, you don't understand. You have a very limited experience, Patrick. You have such a limited experience.
And I know that like my overwhelming love, not just for Vi, but for Vi to experience the fullness of what's possible for her life is like
sleep with as many men as possible. Let me tell you something, Mr. Marcus. All right. My husband has not had sex with another man besides me. And when we got married, I said, do you want to experience what it's like with another man? Because I don't want him to be locked down for the rest of his life with just one guy. And he said to me, I don't want any other guys. I want you. I love you. I'm married to you, Patrick. I don't want any other men. And he doesn't feel like he's missing out on anything. And I did encourage him. I said, just go, like, before we settle down for good, why don't you just go try it out with some other people? He wasn't interested. Why? Because he's a normal person. He's a normal person. You do not need to have sex with a lot of different people. Like, I've had sex with a lot of different people and it ruined my life. It ruined my life. And my husband doesn't feel jealous that I've had sex with a lot of people. He feels bad for me. It wasn't good for me. It made me feel terrible. It's not something that I'm even proud of, you see? But here you have two experiences. You don't need to have sex with a lot of people to feel any sort of way. Like, this overemphasis on sex is spiritual brain rot. It is brain rot. It leads to brain rot. It is like, and people say, well, Patrick, it might be easy for you to say because you already did that. I regret it. It wasn't good for me. I have serious regrets at how over sexualized I was. But this is another one of those things. Patrick, you just don't understand. You don't understand. You've never been sexually free, right? Like me. I have been too sexually free in my life. It was not good for me. It's not good for anybody. It isn't. It makes you feel rotten. It makes you feel insecure. People treat you like a wadded up tissue. It was so dehumanizing. And the fact that Aubrey is wanting his wife to experience other people's penises is very disturbing. I mean, if it works for them, great. But Patrick, you don't understand. People horny, Patrick. People horny. People get horny. They need to get their genitals wet and like, oh God. No, I just don't understand. I don't understand it all. You see, I just don't understand it at all.
It's a stronger part of my character and will than that natural primal response, which is like, so I immediately went into wingman mode.
The natural primal response to someone wanting to have sex with your wife is the correct one. Don't try to override that. Overriding that impulse is cuckery. It is beta stuff. Like if a man or a woman makes a move on my husband, I'm like, fuck off. He's mine. I don't like homewreckers. I don't like them. I don't like him at all. You can only love one person. You can't. I mean, here, Aubrey, you know, there's a book called Owning Your Own Shadow. It talks about romantic love as shadow. If you just want to be single and fuck a bunch of people, go right ahead. This is crazy.
You went into full masculine mode of like, what are we going to do? What are the details?
Honey, that's not masculinity. That is toxic masculinity. That's weak. That's feminized. He went into femininity. The masculine response would be to take such good care of you, you would not want another man. You would be so provided for that you would not want anything else. That's masculinity, honey. Don't you dare call this whatever feminized crap this is masculine. It's not masculine mode. That is fake masculinity. That is feminized. That's a feminized man.
Like, how's this good? And I was just like, I don't feel like I need to do anything at this point. You're like, do you want me to reach out to him? I was like, no, please don't.
Honey, you do not have a husband. You have a lesbian wife. You're in a lesbian relationship, Valana. That's what you're in.
This is so
But I
uncomfortable.
did.
No, but
Okay.
this is so uncomfortable for me. And I just am not. I feel I am of the mind that if things are meant to be, things will continue to present themselves. And so,
And luckily for you, your husband is going to continue to manipulate this situation and make it happen for you.
I don't feel like I need to do anything. Please don't text him. I don't want to text him. And, you know, I just want to let it be for this moment. So
Okay.
fast forward maybe like,
Quick double click.
Yeah.
Or go backtrack for a second. My perspective, the couple times I bumped into you,
yeah. Yes, please share yours.
I obviously knew Aubrey, and we were hooping together, and we had this beautiful group of basketball players, and looked up to you, obviously, in the community for all that you do and all that you've created. And I know about you as well. I was working in sound.
Thank you for creating this sex club for me to be a part of. Man, I can't believe I'm going to get to bang Aubrey's wife. Oh, God. Thank you. Thank you.
Audio engineering at the time with Soundbed. So I, knowing you're married, was like, maybe we'll make a song for the thing I'm working on. So let me introduce myself to you. Hey, I know who you are. I work in sound. Nice to know you.
Offer to make a song with her. Yeah, that'll get it. Like we got to find some way to get the two of you alone together. Make a song. Come to my studio. Yeah, come to my studio. Lay down some tracks.
I would never be the kind of guy who would ever make eyes or contact
You
someone's
didn't
wife
give any
in
kind
any
of
way.
even mild.
Wasn't even in my frame of reference.
No.
Just like, I know who you are and you're really talented and I work in the same field.
Totally.
Nice to know you.
Yeah.
I play basketball with your husband.
Totally. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like it's such a unique, and it's just such a unique situation. But
It's a setup. It's why, like, she kind of suspects it. Look, she knows.
Which also goes back to why I said in my first response.
It's starting to dawn on her. Like, and Aubrey, you're doing this to her live on a podcast to sell it, to get a bunch of other people to co-sign it.
It's like he's a good man. Like I can tell, like when there's an internal integrity and goodness in a human being, and you know, when you compete against somebody, you learn things about them.
Totally.
You know, like you really learn. You learn when they get frustrated. You learn how they handle when they get angry. You learn how fair they are when they're making a call. You learn.
No, only predators do that. Only predators watch people in that way. That's, man, Patrick, you don't understand. You just don't understand.
Learn all kinds of things about a human being. And
Who watches people in that way? Who's trying to learn things about human beings in that way? You're looking for the weak spots. You're looking for where you can get an in. You're looking for that weak spot to see how you can get him to play the role that you need him to play. Bro, oh God, it's beyond brain rotted. It's toxic. It's toxic brain rotting.
And
Steve Kerr says, the coach of the Warriors, he says, people play basketball the way they live their lives. So if you're like a really reckless player, you have a lot of turnovers, it's like your life is probably something like that. If you're a really precise player who maybe gets everyone involved, it's like your life is probably like that in some kind of way. So I really do believe the fact that we sweat together, bled together, competed, won and lost, created beyond words or
Yeah, they're not in the NBA. You know, I have a cricket machine, but I don't think of myself as a clothing designer. Even though I design my own clothes, I don't like.
conversations, a sense of understanding and bonding with each other for sure.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to continue with the story, and I'll try not to go off on too many tangents because my storytelling can be circles and spirals. And so
you might ask me, why am I doing this episode? I'm hoping that my loved one that succumbed to this shit will watch this. That's why I'm watching it, because I want him to see what is happening in his life. This is an intervention in the Shaman Patrick show form. Actually, if anybody out there has a loved one that is caught up in this polyamory, drug addiction stuff that looks really good but is actually rotten underneath, just show them this episode. There you go. That's why I'm putting myself through this, because I hopefully they'll get curious and stumble upon this episode.
fast forward, I don't know, maybe 2 more days after that, and there was this like beautiful retreat gathering of some people that I had just met that invited me to come to this thing, and I felt like a really strong resonance with them. And so I decided to go. And
oh my God. Brainrotted. I felt a really strong resonance with them. I know people who talk about this, like they just felt like I felt like I wanted to. It's how divorced from reality can you be?
And when I get there, who's the first fucking person that I see? I'm like, this guy. And I'm like, this is relentless. Like,
oh, because you're being set up. You're being set up. It's all a set up. I mean, I'm slightly psychic, but you don't have to be a psychic to see what is happening to you, honey. Freight train is coming. Choo choo, get off the track.
I can't. And I texted Aubrey right away. I'm like, you're not going to believe who's here right now. She's like, who? I was like, that guy, Josh. And he was like, really? Are you going to flirt with him? I'm like, I don't even know if I know how to.
Please, oh my God. Look at the way he's sitting too. Like, it's working. It's working. Look at them looking at each other. Like they're looking at each other like, got it. It's a lock. It's a lock, dude.
Do that anymore. Like, it's so like.
And they're doing this on camera. What do they call it? Duper's delight. Duper's delight.
Just vulnerable and interesting. Because I think also as a woman, or at least in my experience, like a lot of my relationships had unfolded from being approached or from, you know, from something kind of coming towards me. And I did it on purpose at one point where I, you know, had to be the one to put myself out there because it's a really vulnerable thing. I really honor men. For all the women who are listening, if you're still listening, for men who have the courage to approach you.
She said something true there. If you women are still listening, how old is she? I think she's in her 40s. I know women in their 50s who sound like teenagers like this. It's very disturbing.
If it's not in a disrespectful way, like
they never got to grow up. It's emotional stunting. It is arrested development.
Give them a lot of compassion and love, whether you're into it or not, because it is so vulnerable to put yourself out there. So this situation is just like
only weak men feel that way. Like I've never met an alpha man that felt any emotion whatever in asking a girl out. Like I know a few alpha guys. I see them at the gym. If they see a girl they're interested in, they go up and talk to her. That's a feminized man would feel like, should I approach her? Should I not approach her? Should I do it? Masculine men go after what they want.
Making my skin tingly, and he's here just trying to cheer me on and like get me to go for it. And I'm just
because he's your girlfriend. Your husband is your girlfriend. Y'all are just a couple of high school girls hanging out.
like, I don't know if I know how to flirt. Like, if anything feels organic and if things want to unfold, you know, okay. But I again, just I don't really know how to be with this situation, and I don't even know if we would even have a good conversation because we haven't even shared any words with each other.
It's about as organic as a Hostess Twinkie, honey.
So
Yeah, I still have no idea what's going on.
he has no idea what's going on. He's just being friendly and respectful,
And that's even grosser. The fact that Aubrey is setting her up with his friend and he didn't tell his friend. Like, do you believe that? Like, wow.
and me internally is like, hi, it's you again. Like, I'm so nervous and I don't know how to approach this, and this is so funny and wild. And my husband is just like there in the back, like, you got this. Like, it's like, what world am I living in right now? So
I'm gonna watch this until we hear from Josh. I want to hear from Josh.
at this particular little gathering, I was singing, and I went down to go set up my bowls and pick my spot. And I went into the space that the gathering was held, and I walk in, and there you are again, playing a piano and singing and doing music. And I was like, who is this person? Like,
Well,
yeah.
and
This is the plot of the Prince movie Under the Cherry Moon. It is the exact plot of the Prince movie Under the Cherry Moon. And Prince played a gigolo, and he wanted to woo young Mary Sharon, who was an heiress.
I think before that, I had actually sent you a text.
Yeah, it was close to that.
Unbeknownst to me.
Unbeknownst
So-
to, so this is the text. This is the text I send to Josh. And again, Vi didn't, say for me to do this, but
No.
I just felt like, look, like I got her back. Like I understand what she wants, and I can do this in an honorable way, because one of the other things I know is that if it's at all going to be possible, like, you need to know that I know and that I have my blessing, so that everything is in the clear light. Like
This is so fucking complicated. The amount of hoops these people are jumping through just to hook up with somebody else. Like, it is because it's so morally wrong. It's so rotten to the core that there has to be all of these stories. Like with my boyfriend, Tom, he could have broken up with me, but if he had broken up with me, that meant he would have been cheating on me, and it would have made him feel like a horrible person. So all of these complications and all of these stories are to absolve everybody from basically just wanting to fuck other people. We're brain rotted, spiritually brain rotted. You're all pieces of shit. Happy birthday.
nothing in the shadow. There's nothing leaky. There's nothing weird. That everything is blessed.
You gonna read it?
Yeah.
So
So
I'm taking a break before I'm gonna go offline for the whole weekend. I'm going to like plug my phone into my room and like let go. And as I'm going to plug my phone in, I get a buzz. I'm like holding my phone in my hand, and it's a text from Aubrey, and it says,
Just God. See, this is why you don't make spiritual experiences more than what they are. And this event in their life, just charging a phone in, carries such spiritual significance. I mean, I do it too. But I'm also not trying to find somebody for my husband to have sex with, because that would be nuts.
all right. Hey, brother, it's Aubrey. I know you're about to go into this retreat with Vi and Alana, so I just wanted to share something privately. Vi and I are in a relationship we call radical monogamy in the band of erotic mystics.
Almost, oh my God, I almost passed out. I immediately just got an image of Emmett Otter's jug band Christmas. I literally just almost passed out. That was so funny. Oh my God. Emmett, would you like the radical monogamy in Emmett Otter's jug band Christmas? Oh my God. This is for real. This is a serious thing that people are doing. It's not a dream. Patrick, wake up. No, it's real. The people get wrapped up into this shit. They do. And I had to take a break because I thought I was going to pass out. That was too much for me. That was way too much for me.
It's a lot like poly, but with a very mission-driven structure in which every other relationship outside of the primary partnership strengthens the mission. Alana is one of my beloved bandmates, paramours in the system. The reason I'm sending you this is that Vi said you caught her eye. And so I wanted to just share that I'm in a place of radical blessing if there is actually energy there for y'all to explore.
My loved one talks like this now. Thanks, Aubrey. Thanks.
If nothing else, take this as a compliment from both Vi and myself. I just wanted to share so that if there is a something there, it has sanctified soil to germinate. I know this possibly is a wild message to get right before your retreat.
This is why people with spiritual ego, this is why I don't text people. Because you will get texts like this, brain rot texts that will melt your fucking brain and you don't know how to respond to them. Like it is.
So no expectation for any type of response. Have a great weekend, bro.
I've never heard that text message.
Whoa, God. You know, I thought Flavor of Love was a terrible reality. This is worse than Flavor of Love. This is worse. This is worse than that. And, you know, some people might out there say, you are judging them. Yes, fuck yes, I'm judging them. Fuck yes. This kind of shit gets people killed.
I was ignorant that even happened.
This breaks people's hearts. This fucks up lives. This rips apart marriages. There's like, fuck yes, I'm judging this shit.
So as I moved about my day, I had no idea that he received that text message. So I'm just like, we ended up sitting next to each other.
What kind of marriage is this? Like, you're sending like secret text message. Oh God.
In this experience,
So I read that text and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. Block. Dude, block. That shit is crazy. I get a text message like that, I'm blocking that person. Or I text them back and say, text me when you're sober.
Wow. What? Okay. And I didn't really know how to receive it. I was just like, first of all, I felt the directness of it. And
this is how those with spiritual brain rot, that kind of shit makes sense to them. It makes complete sense. And if you're speaking plainly and clearly, like I didn't know how to receive it, nobody would. Because that's crazy. That is crazy to receive a text message like that. Here's what the thing. Hey, it's okay. My wife is going to hit on you. It's okay. You can fuck her. Solved. That's easy. That's easy to understand. It's easy to get. But,
you know, in hindsight, sort of where we are now, looking back, the thing I really felt in the moment and felt true for me was sort of the end phrase that you said, if there's something there, as in like, truth is allowed here.
Mm-hmm.
And also don't come with the fake shit.
Yep.
Is what I kind of took about it. It was like, if there's something there, if this is a true thing, I bless the truth.
Yeah.
Is what I really took away from that.
And that's exactly what I was trying to transmit. Like
he would be handsome if he didn't have those dreadlocks. Maybe. But his demeanor is very, see, I'm attracted to masculine men, and both of these men are very feminine.
It wasn't trying
they talk
to,
like,
I hope
like
this or that. It's like,
girls.
if there is an isness to what is.
If there is an isness to what is, I'm writing that down for the Aubrey Marcus song. I'm going to redo it. If there is an isness to what is. I don't have any pen, but man, there's a lot of good ones.
Allow yourself, the full radical blessing, the soil for this thing to germinate. Like it's in the radical blessing. And I think it's an act of my radical love for you. Like, I love you so fucking much, babe. Yeah, and like, it's not that like this, and for people think, oh, it's probably Aubrey's kink. He like gets off on this. He like loves thinking about it. I don't, like, and we'll fast forward to other parts of the story, but I want to know everything. And I ask for all the details of how everything goes. And obviously, a relationship developed, and I'd ask for the details, and it's like, it's hard, but I'm like, but also I want to know, and I want to be on the inside of my beloved's experience. Like, I want to be like there with her, like ride or die on the inside. And, I knew you were a really, really good man, but I didn't know how many gifts you would have that you could give to both of us. And that was the beautiful thing that kind of developed, and this story will advance, and we'll maybe talk about the bog and some other things where I really got to see what this could look like.
Yeah. So, I mean, should I keep going on with the story?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I can't believe it. Like, I thought we were going to hear about the beauty of improv as an art form. That's the chapter title. And we haven't talked about improv at all.
Walk back into the barn.
So back into the barn. Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's, feeling into, like, okay, not really my world or like where I felt drawn to, but I mean, goes without saying, Vailana, you're an incredibly special human being.
Thank you.
You're the kind of, holy moly.
Holy shit.
Holy moly, everyone.
Just like, for real, y'all. Like, for real. Look, this is fucking Vailana. Holy shit.
Jeez, guys.
Like, motherfuck, holy shit.
Yeah, keep going if you want.
Jesus.
That guy looks like a real pussy hound. The pussy hounds? He looks like a smooth talking pussy hound. Yeah.
Super correct.
Thank
and so I really didn't know, I just was like kind of taking it in. And then I walked back into the barn to go to my space in the retreat. And you're sitting right next to me.
Literally, I set my stuff up before. So it wasn't like a planned, like we walked in the space and just decided. It was like he was sitting down, but I already had my things on the seat. And I was like, and now he's sitting next to me. And so like, all right, universe, could you get more fucking loud to like really,
It's a setup. It was all set up for you by a spiritual narcissist. He wants to get rid of you, and he found you a man that has dreads and a nice tan. Would you please fall for this scheme? See, I just made that song up. Improv, baby, improv.
Make me engage with this situation, even though it's so wildly uncomfortable. So he already knew at this point. And I had never heard that text message. So thank you so much. Like, really, thank you so much.
Love you.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. It just makes you want to weep. It makes you want to weep.
I know. And
Thank
I know
you.
it's because you love me.
Thank you. Oh God. And I know it's because you love me so that you sent this text message to this man that you set up. Like, I know it's because you love me. Honey, this is not love. This is not love. This is crack den romance. This is crack-a-lacka. This is shit that high people do. I've seen meth heads with a better sense of what love is.
So much. So like, thank you. And for me, it's like, how am I in this experience where like the person that I love more than anything is so graciously and generously and beautifully, impeccably granting me the freedom to just, you know, not that there was any plan or that this would have even worked, but it's just like, but I give you my blessing. If there.
Girl, you do not love Aubrey, okay? Because if you truly loved Aubrey, you would not want anybody else. You would be completely satisfied. You're not in love with Aubrey. I don't know what's going on with you, but that's not what love is. That's not love. I mean, I don't know what it is. I don't know, woundedness. But please do not use that word love to describe what this is. It cheapens what love actually is. If you truly loved him, if you truly loved yourself, you would get the fuck out of this right now.
There's something there. And I really, that blessing requires a lot of responsibility, right? It's not just like a flippant thing of like, I'm attracted and my, you know, primal physical body would feel.
It is though. I don't care how many words that you put on it. Like, I literally do not want to have sex with anybody other than my husband because I love him. I wouldn't even think about it. It would not even enter my mind. Well, it might enter my mind, but I'd be like, nope, no. You see, like, that's what you're supposed to do. Why would it enter my mind though? Oh, because every now and then you see a really hot guy and you feel something deep inside, a primal thing. I'm a man, you see. But if it did enter my mind, I'd be like, no. When I worked in the rehab, it was full of men. I worked in a rehab, it was full of men. Somebody asked me, how could you work in a facility with all of these men? Some of them are really hot. I'm like, I get to know them. I get to know them. They're just people. I don't look at people as if they're sex objects anymore. For the most part. Rarely. Maybe Chris Evans. And here's the thing. If it's not even other people. It's like Chris Evans. I'd watch him do stuff. Merrick and I both, we would consider having sex with Chris Evans, but it would just be like that. It would be like that. It wouldn't be a long drawn out. They would be like, no, somebody like Chris Evans. No. Who does Merrick like? He likes all the men on Spartacus, all of the men on Spartacus. We had this thing we were talking about watching, like, certain actors. We'd watch them do anything. We'd watch them do stuff. That's what we said. And Chris Evans, I'd watch him do stuff. Chris Pratt, I'd watch him do stuff. I might remember some other men later on. We just watch them do stuff. I'd watch them do stuff. Not Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal is the most non-sexy person that I've ever laid eyes on.
So good to rub up against her. No, it's like to receive that kind of blessing requires a lot of responsibility and integrity. And so I've really held that because you've been so gracious and so wonderful.
Courageous too.
So courageous.
One of the things, in the previous podcast that I felt I
do want to clarify that. I would considering having sex with somebody. I would considering it, but I would never consider having sex with somebody other than my husband. I just wanted to clarify that because I would considering.
Wanted to just share with you guys and share with anyone who's listening. And also thank you for the opportunity to get destroyed on the internet by people I don't know. It's a real gift. I never thought this would happen to me, but it's such a beautiful.
Oh, sorry.
Gift. I'm just kidding.
Sorry.
Well, the reason you're not getting destroyed on the internet It's called being called out. It's happened to me when I was doing cockamamie shit. People were calling me out, thank God. Other people might call me out in the future. That's part of it. But this is crazy what you guys are doing. And this promotes this to other people and they get caught up in it. Like my loved one got caught up in it. Like, think of the implications of this. This is for a backroom conversation. But this is just brain rotting. It's brain rotting. You're not going to get destroyed on the internet. Nobody cares that much about it. But at the same time, it is utterly ridiculous.
No, but I really wanted, and I'm glad you read the text because people didn't see that. The amazing courageousness, the care you had for her.
That is weak. Do not get this twisted. Josh, if you're hearing this, that is what a weak man does. It's not courageous. It's not strong. It's weak. It's pathetic, and it's pitiful.
The honesty and just like the level of clarity of communication that it came from and the vulnerability that was there. So I want people to really feel that. The courageousness on your part, the care on your part, and then ultimately what came after that, which was the courageousness on your part.
Yeah, thank you for that acknowledgement, and I really feel the same. So we spent this whole evening at this gathering sitting next to each other, and I always have lots of things. I have like rose spray, and I have chihuahua, and I have like essential oils, and like I always have lots of things. My bag is like Mary Poppins. And so
Chihuahua is a very tingly Ecuadorian mouth spray
that cleans your saliva.
It's a tiny dog.
Not a lot of people know what Chihuahua.
That's improv, man. That's good. That is really good.
Keep that in my mochila. Would you like some chihuahua? I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Anyways, so I just am pulling out all of my things, and I would use my things and I'd be like, would you like some Blue Lotus oil? Just trying to create some kind of connection or conversation. I was so awkward internally, and I don't know how you perceived me, but I was just putting it out there in my own way to just be like, hey, like, and then we got into a really beautiful conversation. I don't even remember how we arrived there, but we started talking about pigeon, which you can speak to better than me, and I can give more context.
Yeah, we found a thread about Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have, I don't know your exact percentage relationship ancestry of Hawaiian, but I know that you carry a lot of that, aloha spirit with you. And I've been to Hawaii several times. I have family has a farm out there for the last
Hawaii. It's Hawaii.
20 years. And so
many Hawaii
it's a
connections.
really, really special place to me.
Yeah.
Okay. I am 53 years old. Every 10 years, they come up with a new way to say things. They come up with new ways to say things. It is ridiculous. They have said Hawaii. They like every 10 years there's a new way to say something. Like Mexico. If you're younger, you may not realize this, but they change how words are said. Like it used to be Kiev in Ukraine. It was Kiev for the longest time. Now it's Kyiv out of nowhere. They change shit all the time. It's ridiculous. They used to say Latino. Now it's Latino. Then they said Latinx. Now it's back to, but it is brain rot. It is brain rot. This is how you see how easily people are programmed. At the end of the day, it's just Hawaii. You don't have to be so dramatic about it.
You asked me if I knew what pigeon was, and I was like, bruh.
Oh, yeah.
Bruh. Yeah. Listen here, dreaded man. To my right, I was like, do I know what pigeon is? My whole family's from Hawaii. So it just kind of got the conversation going. And all this is happening while
She just said Hawaii.
Knows that I feel some kind of attraction, but I have no idea in my mind that you sent this text message. So in hindsight,
and that's very cruel, Aubrey, to not tell her that you sent a text message to calm her down and ease all her fears. Narcissist gonna narcissist, am I right?
Pretty hilarious, because I was just blindly going through that whole day. And God bless you. I'm so happy you didn't tell me, because I would have been even more awkward throughout the whole day. But to, kind of keep the story a little bit shorter than all of the intense details of it, we found ourselves later that night in a shared space, you had somebody on the sound bed, and I was doing some singing for them. And again, it was just like the universe just kept creating these opportunities.
Aubrey was creating these opportunities for you, honey.
To connect. And so we were in a space with just the two of us, and I sat down and I was like, all right, well, I guess I just got to put it out there. And so I just started sharing about the, structure of our relationship, and how Alana, who was, there at this gathering, was Aubrey's beloved and a beloved to me, and
girlfriend, side piece.
I just kind of put it out there, and I was like, I totally can understand if this feels like so awkward and weird.
Can I just say, it was so cute. You're like, I don't know how to say this, but there's this relationship I'm in, and
when women act like that, that does not look cute. It does not look cute. It's irritating. It's creepy. It's weird. Women, like, when women act like little girls, is that, like, do men like that? Not in the masculine men communities. Not at all.
I gotta, what, can I say something?
Yeah, it was so awkward and so uncomfortable. But ultimately, I also just thanked you for really graciously receiving me putting myself out there, because
they take so long. This podcast would be 30 minutes if they just spoke in a direct, clear, and non-spiritually brain-rotted way. If they could just speak honestly and clearly, we could have been done with this already. How far am I? I'm only 30 minutes into this. My computer may not be able to render this whole episode. I don't know what I'm going to do.
It was like, honestly, even if all of this was for just me to have this moment of claiming something for myself that's in, like, the beautiful, generous blessing of my husband, and, like, if it was just for that, like, thank you for just being so kind and open and, like, gracious, like, that would have been enough for me. Like, when I got to that point, it was like, even if there is nothing here and, you want to run the other way, like, just even that moment for me felt like it was enough. And yeah.
And
then everything began.
And then it started to unfold. I hope you all are enjoying this podcast as much as I am. I want to talk to you about...
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I tried to speed it up a little bit, but you missed the true brain rot when it's sped up. Should I go on? I don't know. I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to reassess my life choices. Okay. I decided that I couldn't take anymore. And plus, I'm getting kind of hungry, and I really want to make a song. I don't want to put a whole lot of effort into the song. So I went to ChatGPT, and I asked it to help me write some lyrics. And this is what it came up with. I said, can we get a song done in an ironic style from the point of view of a man named Aubrey, and he doesn't know he has spiritual brain rot, and he is trying to woo men and women into his expanding relationship constellation, and he uses word salad manipulation to get his wife to agree to threesomes and to get her to have a new boyfriend. Also, let's include the lines, there is nothing more whole than a broken heart, and the isness of what is, and other silly nonsense things. The song should be a ballad and satirical. There should also be references to a God bomb ceremony. And so here's what ChatGPT came up with. They said, hell yes, here's a satirical spiritual ballad in the voice of Aubrey, the unwittingly infected patient zero of spiritual brain rot, trying to manipulate his way into a constellation of sex and sanctimony using all the new age nonsense he's soaked in. Think acoustic guitar, soft breathy vocals, haunting flute solo, like Bon Iver joined a cult in Sedona. So the song is called The Isness of What Is, a ballad by Aubrey Marcus. And I'm gonna go on to Suno, and then I'm gonna work it up, and then I'm gonna be back. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, I did it. And my husband wouldn't let me spend more than 20 Suno credits on it. And I wanted it to be very low effort. I didn't want to put a whole lot of time in it. I wanted it to have as much thought put into it as Aubrey would do when trying to get somebody into his bed. So this is called The Isness of What Is, Aubrey song. And normally when I play a song at the end of an episode, I go away and I let you experience the song on your own. But I want to be here with you for this one. I want to be here with you with this one. On Suno, you can actually make lyric videos to go along with it. So I'm going to show you the lyric video for this. Look, I did it in the style of an 80s ballad. For some reason, Suno turned it into a ballad, a duet with two people. All I said is make it like an 80s ballad. And I didn't even, it's like sometimes when I use Suno, I like to do the prompts and I like to take a lot of time with it and describe it and take some time. This took me 5 minutes to do. I even made a little album cover for it, which you can't see on here, but I'll put it in the video for earlier so you can see. Okay, so to end this episode of the Shaman Patrick Show, let me present to you The Isness of What Is, Aubrey song.
I opened her chakras with ceremonial lube, healed sacral wounds with a shaman on Zoom. I whispered to Isis, she whispered back, get a new girlfriend and never look back. I made a Google Doc of who I wanna kiss, color-coded rules for consensual bliss. I told my wife it's all for growth and truth, while texting a man and his girlfriend Ruth. There is nothing more whole than a broken heart, and baby, you're sacred, now let's fall apart. The cosmos told me you should date Dan, while I deepen my tantric bond with Stan. Let's constellate our souls in a spiral of bliss and bathe in the isness of what is.
I hosted a God bomb ceremony in a van. We puked out our egos while I softly fanned. Everyone cried and called me divine. Then I charged them 800 for sage and wine.
My crown is open, my third eye soar. I've transcended monogamy, so radical for sure. I journal in tongues, I sob on live. And if you're not poly, are you even alive?
You say you're confused, how dare you limit love?
of what is. I'm not your husband. I'm your mirror, soul, catalyst, divine, fractal, twin flame, star priest. Now grab the rose quartz strap on. My friend is bringing the cannabis. I've got the ketamine. It's gonna be a really cool, dope scene. Expanding constellations of love will mix. The God bomb begins at 6.
And that's what AI was made for. To do stupid, garbage, dumb internet songs like that. That's improv for you, honey. That's the magic of improv. That's the magic of the ancient yet modern art of improv. So AI came up with most of those lyrics. I changed them around a little bit. I had to change them around a little bit. That didn't take very long. But I'm a trained comedian. I really am a trained comedian. And I know it's not fair. I know it's not fair. I know it's not fair to the other shamans out there for me to be a trained comedian. So that ends this episode of the Shaman Patrick Show. This was probably my longest episode. So I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna try to render the Cheddar. I had to stop and eat lunch. My cat Cheddar was trying to eat my lunch. You were trying to eat my lunch. I just fed him lunch. I just fed him a meal. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to see if my computer can even render this episode. Thank you so very much for watching the Shaman Patrick Show. I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Mwah. Bye-bye.
It's getting pretty old.